Yeah, so we're going to just take a quick break and let Representative Jenifer Loon come on up. She's here today representing the House Republican Caucus and share some words with the group. Welcome.
Just here, anywhere.
Good morning. Great to be here and see all of this fabulous group of women, and I see there's a few men in the crowd too, so I don't want to leave you out, but I am really honored and thrilled to be here today. I was introduced as representing the Republican Caucus. I am Republican, but I'm going to speak more from my own experiences and some of the things that I'm hoping to do this year that I think fit into some of the topics you're talking about today in my capacity, both as the mother of 2 daughters and as the new chair of the House Education Finance Committee. I think many of the topics we're talking about, excuse me, I don't want to stand right in front of you. Education is a critical component to many of the things we're discussing, whether it's encouraging more girls into the STEM fields, science and technology and math, engineering, and also looking at such issues of early childhood education and the needs of our children and our providers and our teachers as we get our children off to a good start and to be successful as when they move into the economy in Minnesota. So I'll talk a little bit about some of those things. And I don't know if you wanted to do questions or not, but I'm happy to entertain that in the time we have allotted. All right, thank you. So first I want to talk, I'll start sort of chronologically, if you will, talking about girls. And again, as the parent of 2 daughters, my own daughters have experienced this and something that we've worked through with regards to how we encourage our daughters and young women to be more confident in their abilities, especially in the areas of math and science. And I am not well read on all of the research out there, but we do know some things that indicates that in the earlier grades, girls like math and show a great ability to do math the same as boys, but when they start moving into the junior high area, in many cases their confidence diminishes and they show less interest, and there's something about how they approach those subjects that makes it less appealing to them, feeling that somehow that the ability to do math or science and some of those topic areas is more an innate ability versus the encouragement to be persistent and understand sort of pushing through more difficult content area. So one of the things I want to do as the chair of the Education Finance Committee is to hold some hearings and explore this topic more thoroughly. Are there innovative teaching techniques that should be explored? Are there innovative ways in which we could approach classroom, how we set up our classrooms on getting girls interested in staying with the STEM areas of study as they move into their junior high and high school years, and also other ways we can encourage teachers with innovative teaching techniques. Again, we know that the ability is there and there's no difference across the genders with regards to ability, but there may be a difference of approach with regards to things that encourage girls to stay with those subject areas and moving into their post-secondary plans. We know that most of the jobs out there are going to require some type of post-secondary education, whether it's a 2-year or 4-year degree, and that many of the exciting career opportunities out there and those that also are economically viable and the kind of good paying jobs we want for women and girls to pursue are in the sciences and the technology and engineering fields. So we want to make sure that we're preparing our students the best that we can. So you can look forward to a hearing or 2 in that topic area. Another thing that I've been very passionate about and have worked on legislatively in the past and is a growing, I think, a growing acknowledgement is that getting all of our children off to a good start to be prepared to enter kindergarten ready to learn with the skills that they need, those pre-literacy and other skills, is early childhood education, and not just the opportunity, but ensuring that that education is of high quality. So I sponsored one of the first bills that was in the House back in 2011. It took a couple of years to get the scholarship money flowing, but established a scholarship program for early childhood education for economically disadvantaged families, and also a voluntary quality rating system known as Parent Aware, which is now established and will be rolled out statewide this year. And I think this is a great step forward, both for encouraging all of our children, but all families to be able to have that opportunity to make sure that their children are getting the skills that they need. The vast majority of parents, especially those with young children in Minnesota, are working parents. They work outside the home, whether two-parent or single-parent families. And so when you're in the workforce, and I've been there myself, you want to make sure that your children are in an environment that is safe and nurturing, but also providing those educational skills that you would be doing if you were home with them yourselves, but they're preparing them for kindergarten and their further learning. So I think this is a tremendously important thing. All the research indicates it is being very successful. We have a higher percentage of children entering kindergarten ready to learn. And I'm very pleased the governor unveiled his budget and looking for areas where we are in strong agreement and making sure that we increase and enhance and promote early quality childhood education is one where we, I think, are all on board. So that is something that you will be seeing coming from my committee when we get our budget put together. Providers. Many of the providers are, they come from a variety of walks of life and that, but many are women business owners. They are establishing businesses in their home, and they are incredibly important to that network of providers available to parents. One of the things that's important to me and to many people as we look at early childhood education is, number one, that it's quality, but also that there are a variety of types of providers that have that quality education to be the setting that parents want. Some parents choose and prefer a school-based setting. Some prefer maybe a center because that is more convenient or conducive for their family's needs. Others want maybe a home-based child care setting. And so we want to make sure that we are encouraging all of those types of providers to be on board and interested in enhancing the quality of their programming, that it's important to have a curriculum as part of your learning because you have an incredible impact on those children. And we want to make sure that the opportunities to learn about how you can enhance the early education of those children in your care, that those opportunities are available to you, that we provide funding to help you with that training and to enhance your business. You are a vital link to the economic system here in Minnesota, and so we want to be supportive of that and making sure that all communities have access to that kind of training and that kind of support. So that will also be something that we'll be looking at. And finally, I think pairing with that and talking about just raising the status of women in the economy and that as a whole is, again, keying around helping you balance your role as both being in the workforce and being professionals in that, and also for most of us being parents. And then when you get to be my age or a little older, sort of that sandwich generation of also having aging parents that you are perhaps responsible for helping to care for. So how do we help you do that? And I think there's a number of ways, a couple of things that have come through that, again, I think are areas of great bipartisan agreement that we can move forward on. One is not only the scholarship program that I mentioned to help with quality early childhood learning and child care for when your children are young, but also tax credits to help with the cost of affording daycare. Daycare costs and child care costs before your children enter all-day school are incredibly expensive. We're one of the highest cost states in the nation. And whatever we can do to help with women, but families be able to afford that child care, I think are worthy things to do. We want to enable you to have what you need to be successful in your careers, but also to know that your children are well cared for, and that it comes down to being able to afford that kind of quality care. So I think scholarships and tax credits are two great things in the direction. I would also like to see us pursuing some tax credits, and I think that's part of the governor's proposal as well, for the other end of the spectrum. Families that are taking care of aging parents or grandparents in their home is also a component to not only coping with the aging of our state, but enhancing that family caregiver aspect that is so important to all of us, I think, as women. And finally, I would just say that we're going to be talking a lot about teaching, and many women happen to be in the profession of teaching. And I want to say that teachers have an incredibly difficult and important job to do. And so it's my hope that legislation that we will look at this year will not only support teachers, but also recognize their important job. And I'd like to see us look at possibly additional streams of funding for merit pay and other things to enhance the good work that our teachers do. So with that, I will say thank you very much. And if you have questions, I would be happy to entertain that.